How has the challenge been going so far for the first 2 days for everyone? Anyone have any comments or questions, anything they'd like to share? Nope, all just hungry for the food that's about to come.
I'm using my phone, so I have like
Okay.
no idea who's, it's just.
Yeah, well, we've got Dawn and Victoria and Beth.
Yeah.
Sarah, Monsi, we've got so many people signing in.
Wow, that's very nice.
Very, very excited. Amber, you do look a little small. I wonder if there's a way to,
make me look big.
A little bigger. I'm gonna try to see if I can.
No, you need to spotlight me. You know how to spotlight me?
Like just put you on speaker? Yeah.
No.
Pin her.
Not put me on, spin her. I mean, pin me.
Pin speaker.
Okay, so.
I think I may have just pinned Ambaree.
Oh, good. Okay.
But I think the image won't fill the whole screen because she said she was using her phone. That camera. So it'll be a tall, narrow picture.
Yeah.
Right. But
is it okay if I show you?
Yeah, I think, on my screen, it's working well because, Ambaree, we need to be able to see all the ingredients in what you're doing also. And so you can see the full spectrum of all the ingredients that you have.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see you well. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's really good.
Okay, let me just.
It's so great to see everybody this morning. Thanks for joining.
Yes.
Okay, is this better? Probably my head is gonna.
Yes, that's perfect.
Only thing is that my head is not going to be visible, which is, I think.
That's okay as long as we can see the food. I think we're good.
Oh, you might be like that anonymous food critic who did their cooking show with their face never going on camera so that they wouldn't be recognized as they snuck around to restaurants.
Oh, I'm seeing that Beth wrote in the chat that she made from Northfield, Minnesota. Just made my first tofu scramble and fake bacon. Awesome. Was it good?
That was our day one. That was the day one recipe.
Was that the carrot bacon?
That looked delicious, the carrot bacon. I'm going to try that. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
The tofu scramble and the carrot bacon are like the first, whenever anybody asks me, what should I have for my breakfast? Those are the first things that I always, suggest because they are just so good.
And we're going to try that this morning right after your show, Ambaree, and I'm sure we'll be totally starving here in the Virgin Islands.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Okay,
shall we start?
Yeah, it looks like it's about, just after 8:35. So we'll get started. So
yeah. Hi, sorry. I see you. I can see you.
Hi, Mary.
Hi. So welcome.
Club secretary. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. We're going to get started. Welcome, everyone. We're so excited to have you guys. This is day 3 of our 15-day Global Rich Diet Challenge. My name's Anju, and I'm a member of the ESRAG Plant Rich Diet Task Force. And we work so hard to find you guys excellent speakers to provide, supporting information on this awesome journey. So we're so excited to have Ambaree Majumdar. She is going to be cooking. Her focus is on plant protein, and that's chickpeas. So she's going to be doing 3 recipes that involve chickpeas. Ambaree is a second-generation Rotarian. Her father has been a long-term Rotarian and a past president in the state of Sabah in Malaysia. She's a member of the Marina City Rotary Club in Singapore and chairs the environmental committees for her club as well as the region of Singapore. She's also the co-leader of the Southeast Asian chapter and the Plant Rich Diet Task Force of the Rotary Action Group for Environmental Sustainability, ESRAG for short. Although she's an IT business analyst by qualification, she spent most of her time in the past several years as a social entrepreneur, speaker, and educator in the field of plant-based lifestyle. Her journey of a plant-based lifestyle began in 2006 when she took an ethical stand to stop eating meat and fish. However, in 2016, when she completely went plant-based by removing dairy and eggs from her diet, she experienced immense health benefits. She was able to reverse many chronic health issues like joint aches, a weak immunity, many digestive issues, and also hypothyroidism. Being passionate about health and environment, she soon realized that the diet which was the healthiest was also the most planet-friendly. She undertook a certification courses like plant-based nutrition and food sustainability from eCornell, the online version of Cornell University. She's spoken at various Rotary clubs around the world, corporate platforms, schools, and universities about how our plates and the planet are more interconnected than it might seem. Based on science, she advocates that it is crucial for environmentally conscious citizens to be aware that every meal is an opportunity for them to fight a climate catastrophe knocking at humanity's doorstep. So welcome everyone, and thank you so much, Ambaree. We're so excited for your demo. Can't wait to get started. She'll be cooking roasted curried chickpeas, a chickpea veggie burger, and a walnut chickpea brownie. All right, let's get started.
Thank you.
And
thank you so much. Yeah.
just one more thing, just if you guys don't mind, just keeping yourselves on mute during the process. And if you have questions, feel free to ask during or put them in the chat. All right, go for it.
Thank you so much, Anju. And I'm really excited because this is the first time I'm doing it. I'm doing a workshop for my fellow Rotarians. So it's really exciting. So first, we have 3 recipes today that I'm going to be demonstrating. Number one is, the first one that I'm going to be doing is the chickpea walnut blondie. So it is often thought that, firstly, it is often thought that eating a plant-based diet is protein deficient or any nutrient deficient. So just to address that, we are going to be using chickpeas. So I've just boiled, I have soaked it last night and just boiled it with water. You can use canned chickpeas if you like. And these recipes are going to be going to you soon. So for the blondie, what are we going to be doing? We are going to be adding 2 cups of cooked chickpeas. And I have already heated my oven, so that then we have some nut butter or seed butter. So I'm going to be using sunflower seed butter because in my daughter's school there is it's a no nuts. I mean, nuts are not allowed in her school. So I kind of try to add in more, as much seeds as I can. So I'm just going to be adding about, and see, the sunflower seeds are high in omega-3s, like the essential fats. They're high in micronutrients and also fiber.
Also, it tastes delicious.
Yeah, it tastes amazing.
How, Ambaree, how long did you soak the chickpeas for? Was it just just overnight?
Yeah, overnight, about 8 hours, about 8 to 10 hours. Yeah.
Could you use canned instead, Ambaree?
Yes, we can use canned as well. Yes. But in in Indian households, eating legumes with chickpeas is just very, very common. So, and we soak all our legumes overnight, and so it's just something that is very normal for us. So then after this, we're going to be having
There's background noise somewhere.
then some maple syrup. So if you like any other sweetener, you can use any other sweetener of your choice. I just use maple syrup because I'm going to be blending all of this, so it's just easier. Right. Then we add in some vanilla and cinnamon. So here goes 1 teaspoon of vanilla and some cinnamon. So I'll just add like about. Did you guys know that there was a war fought on cinnamon, for cinnamon? Like people died.
Wow, really?
Because-
No.
Yeah. So there was a war at one point of time that happened in India, I think, or in the Indian subcontinent, where they actually killed each other for cinnamon. And we are just using it like,
Yeah.
and just
Like
a
it's
dash
nothing
of,
now. Yeah.
like it's nothing, yeah. Just a dash of salt. And I'm just going to be putting it in the blender and just coming back in a second.
Okay. Seems pretty easy so far. Excited to try it.
What I really love about this recipe is that you can make it in your living room.
You just have
That's
to,
such a
you have
good
to jump
point.
to the kitchen. You have to jump to the kitchen for when you need the blender or the oven.
The question in the chat is, why is it called Blondie?
Oh, why is it called Blondie? Because normally the brownies are normally made of chocolate. So something which is like a brownie, but not really made of chocolate, are called blondies. I think that's why, because that is a question I had in my mind too. And when I Googled it, that's the answer I got.
Good to know. I
Blondie.
never knew that about blondies.
Yeah. And my daughter is not a big fan of chocolate, which is very strange for a child. But so that's why I had to really be a little bit creative about the desserts, and I can't really make too many chocolate dishes. So I have a little helper with me. Come.
Ah,
She's
is it your
shy.
daughter?
Yeah.
Hi. Come on in.
Hi there. You're going to have to taste test these blondies for us to tell us if they are really good.
That's the job that I've given her. So she's just waiting here to taste everything and give a verdict. So after this is when you are blending it, right, you don't have to like blend it to, it has to be smooth, but if it's a little chunky with the chickpeas, it's really fine, because you just eat it like, you just get some chunks in your mouth, which is really cool. And after I get it, I'm gonna add some baking powder and baking soda. So I will just ready that.
Okay. Some.
So is there anything that anybody wants to ask apart from why they are called blondies? Any other questions that are there in the
Is someone doing
chat?
the blending?
Yes.
Oh, you have a sous chef who's doing the the blending.
the blending, yeah. The thing that, because I didn't have enough space to bring my big blender here, so I just left it there. It's just too heavy.
Ambaree, May Fong is asking, how long did you boil the chickpeas?
So I put it, so I soaked it for about 8 to 10 hours. And then in the morning, I just discarded the water, the soaked water, and then just washed it again. And I put it in a pressure cooker, and I boiled it for about 20 minutes, 20, 25 minutes. But if you don't really have a pressure cooker, if you don't really have a pressure cooker, you can cook it in your normal pan with extra water, and probably that will take about 45 minutes. It takes longer if you're not using the pressure cooker. I'm just going to go and check what's happening to the blender.
I'll just let everybody know that in our house,
Oh,
oops, I was usurped by the blender there. In our house, we use a little bit, like 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda in with our chickpeas to help cook them a little bit more quickly and make them a little softer.
and for anyone who does have an instant pot, it's actually really great too. I mean, you can soak them overnight, but they take maybe 35 minutes to just cook in that instant pot. So just another way to cook them.
So here is the dough.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's smelling really good. I'm just going to add it back to the to my mixing bowl. Yeah, and baking soda, yes, that's also it actually cooks faster. I knew this, but I don't know, I forgot about it. Thank you, Andrea, for reminding me. My mother always used to do that.
And I just want to, George just put such a great point. We didn't think of this in the chat, which is, he said, one time I soaked the chickpeas with a cover on and it was a mistake, smelled bad, and I couldn't get rid of the smell. Yes, you want to allow all of those gases to escape. So don't, leave them uncovered when you're soaking. And actually, it is recommended to soak any bean before you cook them if possible, just because it can also cut down on the amount of gas production that it causes.
Yeah.
Flatulence is not something any of us enjoy.
Yeah. No, I have met a lot of, so in Singapore, right, mostly people are Chinese, and George will know that. And so in traditional Chinese, I've just added the baking soda and the baking powders. In Singapore, in the traditional Chinese cuisine, there is not much use of legumes. So when people try to go plant-based, the first thing they want to do is they want to start eating legumes. And what happens is that the minute they eat a lot of legumes, their stomachs start talking right after their meals, and they are like, what's happening? And I've so many people have told me this, that I think I have some problem with gas now that I'm trying plant-based proteins. So that's one solution that we have now.
And another sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was just going to say that another thing is that I think that sometimes it just takes time. Just like anything else, we kind of have to train our bodies to get used to plant-based proteins, and so it'll eventually calm down a little bit. So
that's right. So I have some walnuts. So our dough is ready. The cake batter is ready, and now we have some walnuts. I'm just gonna. You can chop them using a knife if you like, but I just don't have so much.
Did you use like about 1/4 cup there or something?
Yeah, I didn't quite, but I in the recipe I have written the measurements. So I've just roughly added some, and now this is my readied pan. So just pour it in.
You've probably done this so many times, huh? It just comes now.
Yeah, this is quite a common thing in my house. So just making it plain, smooth at the top. And as I said, that there will be a few chunks here and there, and of course the walnuts are chunky. And if you like, because the walnuts are going to get roasted when I bake it, right? And that has an amazing aroma.
Yes.
Even in brownies, there are often walnuts which are They just go really well. So this is how it looks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Now I'm gonna be just adding some walnuts on top just to make it look prettier. And
One of the really neat things about this demo, I think, is that a lot of people think that when you shift toward eating more plants or exclusively plants, that you can't eat dessert anymore. And it's actually, it's completely not right. There are so many ways to make absolutely delicious desserts, many of which you wouldn't even know are totally plant-based, no longer containing eggs or milk. So lots of recipes online too.
Yeah. So I've just popped my cake batter into the preheated oven, and that's going to be there for about 25 minutes, and I'm going to check and then maybe see how it goes. So
Ambaree,
Yep.
oh, there's a question in the comments. Mayphone says, can sugar be added?
Well, yes, sugar can be added, but if you want to avoid refined sugar, then you might want to add natural sweeteners, which are just better for our bodies. Like dates, you can add dates. You can add maple syrup is not refined, but it's actually a simple sugar. But if you like to add complex sugars, you can add dates and probably what other Andrea? Anju, what are the other sweeteners? It's not coming to my mind right now.
I would applesauce is a good sweetener.
Oh, yeah, applesauce, yes.
Bananas,
Bananas.
Bananas.
Yep, bananas, yeah. So a fruit, you can add a fruit to sweeten it, and or a mixture of two. Applesauce actually also, if you are baking cakes, then they become really moist if you use applesauce in the cakes. Yeah, I love baking with applesauce. Now the cake is getting baked. Now we move to the second one, which is actually the easiest recipe, and but it's a big hit when people come home, like which is by the way, I've forgotten how it feels when people come home, because we have not entertained guests for 1.5 years now, I think, because of the lockdown and all the stuff that has been happening here. So I'm just going to be
Oh, we had one more question from George Jacobs. He was saying, are there regional varieties of this dish?
Of the Blondie? No, I think the Blondie is very global.
Global.
Is he talking about chickpea?
I'm not actually sure. George,
okay.
Yeah. If you wouldn't mind clarifying, then we can, Ambaree can answer that.
And Mary, I think, yes, you could use stevia and probably also monk. I don't know about monk fruit. I'm not so familiar. Are you, Ambaree, with monk fruit as a monk fruit as a sweetener?
No,
I have
Mary,
heard about it.
Monk fruit. No, Mary, gula melaka. You can use gula melaka. That's a local sweetener. It's a jaggery. So that's not less refined. Let's say it's almost not processed, almost. So you can use that. Yes, you can use that. What do we have next? We have. I'll just continue with this recipe. You can ask me. Just stop me whenever you want. So we have the curried chickpea. All you have to do is just take your chickpea and just add some spices and put it in your oven or your air fryer, whichever you like. So I'm just adding some lemon, not too much. I have a habit of adding too much lemon. Okay. Then we have some salt.
Ambaree, quick question. How do you store the Blondies once they're cooked? How do you store them?
Oh, yeah. So for a day, so if it's really hot here normally, so I would store after baking it and after it has cooled completely, I would keep it out for about half a day. Shouldn't be a problem. But after that, I would put it in the fridge, and it'll be fine for about 3-4 days. That shouldn't be a problem. So I've just added salt, lemon, and chickpeas, and now just to add a bit of a kick,
We had
I'm
one more
gonna-
question too about the chickpeas. Can the chickpeas be soaked and blended instead of boiling after all it is baked later?
If it can be, sorry.
Oh
chickpeas?
yeah. Can the chickpeas be soaked and blended instead of soaked and then boiled? Can you just blend them right away after you soak them?
Yeah, you can, but then that wouldn't be those wouldn't be ready for eating.
They would be soft, and yeah, they wouldn't be ready for eating.
No, you would you'll probably have like more severe issues with your digestive system that time because
Okay.
if they are raw.
Right.
Yeah, you'll want to cook those.
Yeah.
I think you may, I wonder, Anju, have you ever, or Dawn, have you ever sprouted chickpeas? Most
Yes, I
beans,
have.
many
haven't.
beans, okay. Most
Yeah.
beans need to be cooked. Only some can be sprouted and eaten that way,
Yes.
but most need to be cooked.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for the clarification.
Chickpeas can be sprouted, and it's actually very easy to sprout things in this weather in tropical countries. So I have, but it takes a little bit more time than, let's say, like lentils, legumes take. I mean, beans take more time. So I've just added some, curry powder, some black pepper, and a little bit of salt. And can you get me the garlic powder, please? So I'm going to be adding some garlic powder and a little bit of so I am using avocado oil. You can use any neutral oil, or you can even skip the oil. Another way of adding garlic to it is just to add pieces of garlic and roast the garlic with the chickpea. But that sometimes, especially for my children, it's not, they get a little, it's too much. But then as I said, when guests are here and I'm looking for something to go with as a starter or anything, I just do it. I just put the entire garlic. So a little bit of this oil. You can skip this oil actually if you don't want to use oil. And just mixing it up.
Awesome. How many burgers is this?
This
make?
is the chickpea. No, this is not the burger.
This is the roasted
chickpea-
curry.
roast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the roasted curry chickpea. And I'm just gonna toss it a little bit. And I'm gonna be, because my oven is the blondies are getting done in the oven, so I'm putting it in the air fryer. You can do it in the air fryer. So you put it in the air fryer, please. For 15 minutes. So they come out like really crispy and yummy to go with any of your beverages in case you want to do it. Okay. Now,
So you can just bake them in the oven. Do you know at what temperature if you
Yeah.
don't have an air fryer?
Yeah, same. 150, 160,
Okay.
and 100 Celsius. I probably, I don't know, Fahrenheit. So 150, 160 Celsius for about 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
15 to 20 minutes.
Awesome.
Now we go to the third one, which is our burger. So for the burger, again, I'm going to take a big mixing bowl, and again, the hero of the evening or day, some chickpea. So I've just taken like about 1.5 cups of chickpea. Then, so this is the recipe which is great if you are looking to sneak in vegetables into your kids' dishes, or even in your own. Sometimes if you want to just cheat yourself, just do it. So then we have some, I have just steamed some beetroot. You can steam any, you can steam sweet potatoes, you can steam yam. Do you get yam in the US? You know, that the elephant yam?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you can use whichever vegetable you like. I like beetroot a lot because of the color. So I'm just adding them. And
Ambaree?
I'm gonna, Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Doug asked
no,
a really,
go ahead.
a really important clarifying question in the
Mhm.
chat, which was, were the chickpeas cooked or raw before you you roasted them?
All
For
of
the-
them are cooked. All of them are cooked before for all of these recipes. All the chickpeas have been cooked. I cooked them in the morning today. So I'm just mashing.
Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that color. Beetroot's.
Yeah, the color, right?
Yeah.
So, and just in general, I'm not a big fan of beetroot. I don't know how to enjoy it. I've tried it, but I couldn't. So, but in this recipe, you actually cannot you can't make it out that there is so much beetroot in it.
You know, I had the same thing with beets actually until I started using them in smoothies. And so I peeled them
Yeah.
and just put them in there and with you know, carrots and just like
So
raw,
raw ones?
yeah.
Oh.
It tastes really good, and ginger. So like carrots, beets,
Wow.
ginger, and maybe a little apple to make it a little
Wow.
sweet and a little water. It
Yeah.
actually tastes really good. So
They say that
that's
if
how
you drink, I don't know whether this is true or how scientific it is, but they say that if you drink some beet juice before your heavy lifting workouts, you're supposed to have like endurance is supposed to like go through the roof. I've never tried it.
Yeah, they've done a few studies actually where like runners have performed a lot better after having like, you know, a shot of beet juice before the run, or divers were able to hold their breath
Right.
a little bit longer. So
Right.
it's true.
Oh, you tried it.
Beets are an incredible food for the vasculature, for the cardiovascular system, because it helps the body to produce more nitric oxide, which enables the blood vessels to be more flexible and expand and contract and expand and contract.
Awesome.
So it
Tomorrow
can help with
morning's
reducing
workout is
blood pressure as
after
well.
the beetroot.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Question.
So I've just roughly mashed them together. So, you know, you can see this. Now I'm just going to be adding some more vegetables and the flavors, which I like, I'll tell you.
Ambaree, sorry
hmm?
to interrupt, but quick question. May is asking, how long did you steam the beetroot?
For about 45 minutes, because they're small beetroots. I picked up the small ones.
And then Karen put a nice note, which is a good tip for any parent. She said, my daughter-in-law hides shredded beets in chocolate cake.
Wow. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I also bake cupcakes. I mean muffins with beetroot. Yeah. And they turn out really good. So I'll just add some onions, some red onions. I'm going to be adding some green onions, like the spring onions, I mean. Spring onions. Then I have some shredded carrots and zucchinis. So you can go, I mean, you can be creative with what vegetables you would like. Just add vegetables which are easy to cook, because we are not going to be cooking it a lot. It's just that most of the vegetables are going to be very easy to be cooked. So after having added the steamed vegetable, the topping vegetables, for the topping that I've added, use easier vegetables which get cooked faster. Then we have a little bit of cilantro, which we call coriander leaves here, and my favorite, which is lemon.
I'm sure the zucchini and the carrot also help keep it moist as well, because there, you know, a lot of water in there. So
that's right. And for the spices, I'm going to be adding some cumin powder, and some garlic powder, and some salt, of course, and some pepper. So now,
Awesome.
So
That looks awesome.
I'm just mixing it up. And the last thing that I'm going to be adding is some oat flour. So for 1 cup of chickpea, I've added a little bit more than 1 cup because I wanted to just finish that. So just add 1 cup of oat flour. This makes the burgers firmer and easier to handle. So I've just pre-measured these, and now it's time for me to get my hands dirty.
Best part. Oh, Karen, the white ingredient, that is oat flour, I believe.
Yeah, that's oat flour.
Yeah.
So it kind of gets comes together easily when you are. So this is my own recipe. I've created it almost. But so in the beginning, I was struggling a lot with, because I wanted a recipe where the vegetables could be hidden and stuff like that. So so as you see, this has come together almost like a pizza dough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. It stays together really well.
Yeah, that's because of the oat flour that I've added. Now I'm just gonna be switching on my induction coil.
Oh, Ambaree, Cindy Lynn was asking, can you just put everything into a blender?
Yes, you can, but there is I do use the blender, but whatever things that I don't need the blender for, I just don't use it. It's just generally more nutritious. I mean, the blenders do it really fast, so there's a lot of some nutrients often get destroyed. So just doing it with your hand or something physically is a little better than using a blender. You can use a blender, yes. So so I'm just making these burgers now.
Okay. And then you bake those as well?
I'm going to be frying them here.
Oh, frying. Okay.
Yeah. Can you give me a plate? It's a plain plate. Thank you.
Oh
So
yeah.
this is how it looks.
Oh, awesome. They look so pretty.
It's nice that they're pink too. That kind of gives you the feeling of a hamburger.
They actually, if you would like it, I'm not a big fan of it, but if you really, when some people come over to my place and I'm like, I know that they can't have a meal without that thing in their mouth, that meaty feeling, the texture. I sometimes just cook stir fry some mushrooms and I add it in. They actually taste like, they wouldn't taste like meat exactly, but then that feeling is there,
Yeah,
So,
mushrooms definitely give it a meatier, kind of that texture that I feel like, people feel like is missing sometimes. So yeah, that's a great tip.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of mushroom myself. In fact, I'm allergic to mushroom. Since the time I was diagnosed with the autoimmune disease, I started getting allergic reactions to mushrooms and broccoli. So there are like 4% of people in this world who are allergic to broccoli for unknown reasons. But I would say that, so I belong to that 4%, but I would say that I think it's got to do something with my autoimmune disease. So, I think that's how it is.
Right. Ambree May is asking, can the patties be frozen and fried a week later?
Yes. Yeah, they can be. They can be. I'll just quickly clean my hands and be back.
Sure. Yeah. I make veggie burgers at home as well, and we freeze them all the time. I make a big batch, you know, maybe like 12 to 15 at a time. And it's so easy to just pull them out and bake them or cook them. So good option for weeknight dinners.
Yeah, and this is like for my children, they normally go in as a snack. You know, I'll just show you how I dress it so that it becomes even more interesting.
Yeah.
And this doesn't need a lot of oil at all. So I'm just, as you can see, I'm just brushing it with a little bit of oil because you don't want to add too much fat.
Beth is asking, can they be cooked from frozen, or do they need to defrost first?
Oh, that's a good question. I think they would need to be defrosted for some, like, so normally what I do is if I freeze anything, then I would the day I want to eat them or cook them, I would defrost them the night overnight in the fridge. I would just take it out of the freezer and put it in the fridge for the whole night, and then I would do it. Generally for anything, that's what I do. But I don't know. What do you guys do when you?
I typically defrost them for, you know, just
You
like
do, right?
2 to 3 minutes on each side, and then I go ahead and cook them. So yeah, it doesn't take too long, but I think, yeah, it definitely helps. So I would
Even
do
you
that.
defrost in the microwave.
I do, yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
I mean, you could just take it from freezer to fridge too. I mean, I think that would be also pretty easy if you remember to do that. I just always forget to do that. So
yeah, no, I have stopped using the micro. I mean, I have not stopped, but I have a microwave, but I don't use it as much anymore.
right.
So that's why I kind of forgot that there's a defrost function there.
Yeah, if you have the function, but yeah, it's a good thing, I think, to use it.
Ambaree May is asking, how long can the fried patties be kept?
You mean inside the fridge?
Yes, I believe so.
For about 3-4 days, not more than that, because they don't. As you could see, the ingredients, they're really like all natural ingredients. There's nothing that can keep it going for a very long time. They don't. I'm not even using a lot of oil or a lot of salt, which when put together, they actually act as preservatives. So this one doesn't have any preservatives to keep them going for too long. So about 3-4 days. And my induction foil is acting up.
You could you crumble those also, make like a meatball and put it in a pasta sauce or something?
Yes,
that kind of might be fun too.
Yes, yeah, you can, and they taste really good. And you know, for the meatballs in pasta sauce, what I do is I use lentils, you know, the green lentils with mushrooms. You should try that. Everything else is the same, but instead of beetroot and chickpea, if you use lentils and pasta sauce, lentils and mushrooms, they actually taste very meaty, like really meaty. You should try that. Even this one actually can become like meatballs to go with pasta. So can you
another
guys
thing
hear
that I like to do? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
No,
just
go
gonna say
ahead.
another thing that I like to do too is put them on salad. You know, if I have a salad for lunch or whatever it is the next day after we make burgers, you know, the night before for dinner, I'll just throw them on a salad and it becomes like it tastes amazing. So
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, and I just wanted to make a comment about Zoom. If anybody is not having Ambaree spotlighted in the screen, we can try to do that from our end. Otherwise, if you hover over on the bottom menu, participants, and you click that, and then that'll open up a list of participants, and hover over Ambaree's name, click on more, and then you'll have an opportunity to do something called pin her. But it looks like Anju might have just done that. Thanks.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so the burgers are ready. I somehow managed with this induction coil. I made 2 burgers, so I'm just gonna assemble them. I'll keep them separately. So we have these burger buns. And I made this burger sauce, which is like made out of nuts, nutritional yeast, and some lemon and garlic. So this is like very, oh, and this one's got bell pepper, red bell pepper. That's why this color. So it really, really is very cheesy. This one deserves that I come close.
We get an up close look. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That looks delicious.
Yeah, and this is very cheesy, and actually this can be like a dip for anything. If you don't need dairy to make a creamy dip or a sauce or something.
Is that recipe included with the burger recipe that you provided?
No, it's not, and I realized it way after I. But then I will send it. I will. Send
Okay,
it across.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want that too. I'm gonna try making it.
And
We'll
it's just so easy.
We'll send that
just so
out with a
easy.
future daily email. So be
Oh,
on
yeah.
the lookout for that.
If anybody has the Oh She Glows cookbook, they have a warm nacho dip that's to die for, that has that similar sauce ingredients, and you do spinach and salsa in that kind of sauce and bake it and dip it with nachos. It's really good.
It's such a great idea. You know, I never even thought about that, like putting it on my burgers and all that stuff, you know, like that kind of sauce. Yeah,
No.
it looks amazing.
So we have, I've just placed the patty. Okay, this one also, I should just show you how the patty looks. It's
Wow.
just, and with the other one, I'll just show you the texture that's inside that you see. Then just to give it a bit of a thing, I'll just add some tomatoes and some greens.
Oh, and we have a question from Cindy. She's asking, can you use red, yellow, or other lentils or peas or green beans for the meatballs instead of green lentils and mushroom?
Can you use which lentils?
Oh, can you use any of can you use red, yellow, or other lentils?
Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. You can.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or
can.
could
But
you could go ahead.
But with the green lentils, the text, because the green lentils, they have a skin. The green lentils have a skin to them, right? So the texture gets enhanced a lot. But then if you don't have it at home, any lentil will do. But if you really want that miraculous meaty texture and like unbelievable meaty texture, then the green lentils will do the job. All
right, good to know.
So here is the burger.
Ooh.
Wow, it looks delicious.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Beautiful
So I'll
job,
just-
Ambaree.
So here is the burger, and the curried chickpea are ready. I'll just put these close to you. I don't know if you can.
My gosh, it's 9 in the morning and my mouth is watering from looking at it.
Here, and then we have the curried chickpea. I'm just gonna garnish this with some cilantro and some lemon, my favorite ingredient in the whole world. This is how it looks.
Oh, wow.
And I'm gonna just, can you hear me, hear the crunch?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is the crunchy snack. which is high in protein and delicious.
The presentation looks beautiful.
Thank you. So let me just, I'm just waiting for the blondies to be done. The blondies are done. Okay, my very, very helpful daughter has already sliced the blondies.
Wow.
Let me just show you the blondies. You can just see the way. Can you see?
Yeah. Oh,
Wow, they look
wow.
amazing.
With that big walnut on top, they look really
Yeah.
good. And
So
soft.
I will just, but this feels so strange, like showing, and I mean, you know, this is, this is, bring the other one.
I know,
Yeah,
I wish we could all just have a big potluck together. and
I
eat.
know, I know. That's what I was talking about. So we
Yeah.
have the blondies here, and we have, let me just show you the, is it hot?
And I just want to answer Karen's question. Karen, I put a link earlier to the recipes, and I'm going to put that in the chat again. Wow, looks delicious.
It looks so good.
And they're really like soft and very so.
Well, I know what I'm doing with the rest of my Sunday.
So we are actually done. I mean, I thought. Oh, thank you.
So does anyone have any other questions that they want to ask Ambaree or any of us?
About anything.
Yeah, about anything.
Ambaree, can you speak to why you chose chickpeas to feature today?
Sure. So chickpeas is one of the most common ingredient used to be one of the most common ingredient in the food that I used to eat as a child. So we ate chickpeas like 2-3 times a week almost. But I didn't know that chickpeas were actually a superfood, were declared a superfood by the United Nations. And my friend Dawn said that to, she informed all of us about that. And that's when I read up a little bit, and I thought that since a lot of people are, not sure about how to meet their protein requirements, because that's mostly a concern in people's minds, that they would be protein deficient if they wouldn't eat animal products. So I thought that highlighting chickpeas could be useful, and it's nutritious, they're easy to handle, they are high in fiber, they're high in every nutrient that you can think of. So yeah, so that's the reason why I chose chickpeas. So I just wanted to show you the texture of the burgers.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, they're hot. Okay, so we are done with these 3 recipes for the evening today.
Excuse me, Ambaree.
Yeah.
Oh, they are so beautiful. Mary is asking, can the patties be baked for how long and at what temperature?
Yeah, so yes, they can be baked. They can be baked. I think I remember. They can be baked, I think, for about at 180 degrees Celsius for about 15 to 20 minutes. Not too much, because everything is actually cooked, so you don't really have to. There's nothing to cook in them. It's just you just have to make sure that the oat flour and everything comes together. So yeah, should be, I think I did add that to the recipe you'll get it.
Another question, I just think this is such a great question. I'm so glad Beth asked it. What are people's favorite cheese substitutes? Giving up meat isn't a big deal, but I love dairy. This is a very important question. Most of us have had this experience. So anybody, feel free to answer.
You know, today we had in the morning, like my morning and yesterday for you guys, we had a conversation with Chef AJ, who is a food addiction specialist. You know, she specializes in that area, and we were talking exactly about that. We were talking about how and why cheese is so addictive in nature. The fact that giving up meat and other animal products is easier, and it's not so much for cheese. So cheese substitute, if you say, then where is Beth from? Is she from Singapore?
She's from Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Oh, she's from Minnesota.
Next
Okay.
to Wisconsin, the dairy state, where cheese is the most important food group next to beer and bratwurst.
So there are a lot of cheese, like plant-based alternatives, like cheese alternatives that are available, but they're not the healthiest things to eat. So if you really want to eat cheese, or let's say something that is a little cheesy, then this recipe is really, really good. I've had a lot of kids who are, you know, very addictive, who are very addicted to cheese and cheese dips and cheese sauce and stuff like that, and then they really like this. So this is a good recipe. You'll get the recipe soon. Other than that, if you, the only thing is that if you know that it's something that is so tough to give up, it's probably worth giving up. You know, I would just say that, but I'm going to let Anju and Andrea respond to that as well, because they have their own perspectives about it.
Beth, I'll just jump in quickly, and then I'd love to hear Anju, Dawn, anybody, Scott, who's gone through this. A couple quick things. First of all, one of our future daily emails is going to talk a little bit about cheese, and we will link to a bunch of great cheese sauce, plant-based cheese sauce alternatives. So be on the lookout for that. Secondly, and this afternoon, we have another wonderful cooking demonstration at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And one of the dishes that our wonderful speaker is going to make is essentially a cheesy pasta perfection. So she'll be teaching you how to make that cheese. The last thing I would say, as Ambaree said, most of us don't know this, cheese is actually mildly addictive, because when we digest the casein, which is the protein in the dairy from cheese and from dairy in general, our bodies turn it into what's called casomorphin, which is essentially like morphine. It's like an opiate, and it triggers the same receptors in our brain that opiates like heroin and morphine and others trigger, causing and craving in us. So it is a mildly addictive substance. So really, you kind of have to go cold turkey from it to give your brain a chance to resensitize and just get over that addiction. So that's what I would say.
And I'll just add to that. I mean, I completely agree with everything that Andrea just said. And I think one of the ways to do that is, you know, making sauces like the one Ambaree made. And then I use another one that's, I don't know if any of you are familiar with, but her name is Minimalist Baker. And she has a great recipe. It's a cashew-based cheese. It's a cashew-based cheese sauce, and I use that all the time, and I love it. I mean, I made a few additions because I also love lemon, so I add lemon. I just kind of made it my own, added a few spices, but I think one of the ways to kind of transition is to start, you know, making the things you love with those whole foods, those whole food plant-based, so yeah, and we'll, again, like Andrea mentioned, in our future emails, we'll have links for, some of those people that we use for our recipes and other recipes that, will help you with the transition. So.
Yeah. And I just wanna add that cheese, there are actually, thankfully, we live in a time when there is social media. So there are a lot of people like you who are aware of the fact that they are probably, they have cheese craving once in a while, and they're aware of the health and the environmental impact that cheese production has. So there are not just cheese sauce. Actually, I had made this mozzarella cheese out of no dairy. I forgot I had actually used somebody else's recipe, but they came out exactly like mozzarella. They were a little less stretchy. They were a little bit less stretchy, but then they looked, and when I ate it with in my salad, they tasted great. So you just have to research a little bit and look for your favorite blogger. There are millions of them who are there. So and just find the recipe that you really like. But let me just give you this. It's never the plant-based cheeses, unless they're really unhealthy. The healthy plant-based cheese recipes are never exactly like dairy cheese. They will be a little bit different. So, I'm just setting the expectation right. So, you have to retrain your brain a little bit to be able to accept something which is cheesy, but taste cheesy, but not really cheese.
Right. That's a great point, Ambaree.
Yeah.
Gonna have to set that expectation as well.
Oh,
Okay.
great. And thank you, Beth. We could not agree with you more. Beth says, thank you so much for hosting. Have really enjoyed getting to learn from and connect with Rotarians from other places. We are enjoying so much getting to know all of you, connecting in from different parts of the world. Thank you. And I'll turn it back over to Anju.
Sure. Well, I just want to say thank you so much to Ambaree for, cooking your 3 recipes. We're so excited. It was awesome, and I can't wait to try them. And thank you all so much for joining. We so much appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. And as Andrea mentioned before, we have another speaker that's doing another cooking demo today. So 2 cooking demos today, and that is at 2 p.m. EST. Just use the same link that you had that you used to sign in with this. And if there's no more questions, then
I just want to say something. Okay, go ahead.
I just want to remind everybody, definitely take a look at our speaker schedule. We have so many phenomenal speakers coming up. We'd love for you to join as many as you can. And I just want to highlight one that's coming up on this coming Thursday. We have an absolute superstar doctor. Her name is Dr. Sarai Stancic. She is going to be sharing her own personal story of overcoming multiple sclerosis with a plant-based diet and other lifestyle changes. It's a very powerful story. That's October 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern time, 7 a.m. Singapore time. We also sent out links to the wonderful presentations last night by Dr. Silas Rao, an absolute must-see presentation, as well as Chef AJ. Thank you.
I just want to say that we have a few more talks, which are we have another cooking demonstration, which is going to be a diabetic friendly cooking demonstration, and of course whole food plant-based, so of course environment friendly as well. So if you're looking for diabetic friendly dessert, she's going to make diabetic friendly dessert. So if you are I forgot the date, I think sometime 12th or 13th, you'll get to know. We'll keep keep reminding you in our daily emails. So if you know anybody who's diabetic but really is struggling with sweet cravings, then it might be a good workshop to attend. And there's also, along with the cooking demonstration, there's going to be a talk by a diabetic educator. So she's diabetic. She's not a doctor, but I think she's a holistic coach. Health coach who specializes in diabetes. So yeah, that's also something that you might want to. Okay, so this is Ahana's plate, the burger that.
So it is kid approved, huh?
Ambaree and Anju and everybody, I just want to answer a question in the chat. What link do we use for Thursday's presentation? It's the same Zoom link for every single presentation. I'm going to put it into the chat, but that is, we wanted to make it as easy as possible for everybody. Any presentation you wish to attend, just click on the same Zoom link and you can access this Zoom link in the daily emails, also in the calendar of presenters that we send out.
Yes, and I believe that the link to the calendar is also in the emails that we're sending out, correct?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Under
Okay.
speakers series schedule at the bottom.
All right. All right. So are
Thank
there
you,
any more
Victoria.
questions?
I can just see some messages.
Okay. Well, thank you all again so much for attending.
Thank you
and
so
thank
much.
you, Ambaree. It was amazing.
Thank you so much for attending. Thank you so much. Doug,
And
thank you. Thank you so much.
We look forward to all of you attending our future speaker series. So, and thank you so much for signing up for the Plant Rich Diet Challenge. Love having all of you.
Have a great day, everybody. And remember, 2 p.m. today, next cooking demo. Bye, everyone. Thanks, Ambaree.
Bye. Bye.
Andrew, hit your record
Oh,
button.
yes. Stop recording.
How many did we have?